Hi, my name is Tara Godoy, and I am the owner and founder of Godoy Medical Forensics. I am a registered nurse with a clinical background in emergency and trauma. Back in 2009, I decided I wanted to do legal nurse consulting, and in doing that, I figured I would do medical malpractice or personal injury, which is what most nurses do when they start into the legal nurse consulting field. But when I first started to review cases, I ended up getting subpoenaed for a patient that I had taken care of when I was working at Stanford in the emergency department. And it was a criminal case, and it was the defense that wanted to call me as an expert. While I was speaking with the investigator, I told him that I did medical record review, and if there was any other cases that he needed my help on, to let me know, and he actually did. And that's how I got my first criminal case. It was an attempted murder, and the victim had 1,200 pages of medical records that the attorney needed help deciphering. So I went back to my mentor, who was teaching me how to do the civil work that I was doing, and told her about the case and how excited I was about it. And she told me that it was hopeless to market to criminal attorneys. For me to be successful in criminal law, I would have to have hundreds of clients in order to get enough work to stay busy. And so she basically discouraged me, but I decided to go ahead anyway. And instead of hundreds of clients, Godoy Medical Forensics has now over 1,000 clients, and we've worked on almost 2,000 cases. We specialize in medical forensics and consult on primarily criminal cases. We do take some civil work as well, but our focus is definitely criminal. One of the things I'm the most proud of is that we have changed the mindset of attorneys by providing experts from a variety of backgrounds and providing nurses instead of doctors. Our nurses have a long list of specializations. And so one of the benefits to our clients is, instead of going to a single practitioner for a case and then going to a different one, usually a doctor for a different case, they've discovered that we can handle almost any type of medical expertise that they need. So speaking a little bit about the experts, when I first started the business in 2009, of course, I was the only expert. And since then, I have hired and trained dozens of nurses. We contract with several doctors and a toxicologist. There are cases in which you do need a doctor, and most of the time the nurses can handle it, but there are times when we need a doctor. And so we have doctors contracting with us. In general, I've scaled the business to need 2 full-time and 2 part-time staff members. Our full-time staff, we have one person that does just the intake on the case. She gets the initial funding approval. She sends out the estimates and just gets all the discovery processed and ready for the expert to review and gets the case open. The other full-time person is a project manager who handles the case once it's been open, makes sure that the expert is meeting all the deadlines, and if additional work is needed, she gets funding for that, sends the estimates for that, and just in general helps with some of the logistics, such as testimony dates and things, scheduling things. Our part-time employees are our office manager and our accounting assistant, but most of our employees are professional nurses that have worked in emergency departments, intensive care units, transport, such as flight nursing, and military settings. We currently have 12 registered nurses employed in 8 states, and we work with public defenders' offices, federal defenders' offices, private criminal defense attorneys located all over the nation. And we also provide services to district attorneys when that opportunity arises. But the vast majority of our work is definitely defense work. One of the things that recently happened was Godoy Medical Forensics became a certified woman-owned small business. And as a nurse, we hire both men and women, but most of our nurses are women. And in that, we have found a niche in the legal system where men and doctors have traditionally ruled. But we have proven that nurses can provide credible expert testimony in all types of criminal cases, including homicide, child abuse, assault, and domestic violence. One of the things that's a benefit is that nurses have jury appeal, because part of their educational background is in education and patient education. And so we're trained during our curriculum to how to educate patients at a level that they understand. And so when we are testifying, we're able to speak to the jurors in a manner that they can understand. And that gives, in my opinion, each defendant a better chance of getting a fair trial, because the public defender's offices, as an example, they have a limited budget. And so hiring a nurse that is less expensive is going to be much more likely than, and they can hire more nurses for more cases than in many times than hiring a physician. So that's, everything I wanted to share about Godoy Medical Forensics. And I really hope that you learned something today about us.